Oh, don't need that.
All righty. Ask Junior time.
Are we live?
We are live.
Okay. Hey, everybody. It's Dale Jr. With the Dale Jr. Download. This is the Ask Junior portion of the show, brought to you by our friends at Nationwide.
Nationwide. You looked at me like you wanted me to sing the jingle.
Nationwide is on your side.
Oh, that's
So,
good. Very good, guys.
yeah. I don't sing the jingle much.
No, you just did.
Yeah. So, we got some good questions today, Leah.
Yeah, our first question, a lot of people after the Joe Gibbs episode last week, they are dying to know what is in this pimento cheese stuffed tomato recipe. Do you have the recipe? Can you share it?
It's just pimento. So it's the baby tomatoes. It's the little guys.
Cherries?
Yeah, little cherries. And they hollowed them out and filled it with pimento cheese. And so it's simple. But
That's
effective.
it.
Yeah.
And baked it or something?
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, so
Just
you were
cold?
just popping those things one after another, right?
Pimento nuggets.
I was
Yeah.
like envisioning the big, like
Dale,
a big
No,
No,
tomato.
that would be
He's
disgusting.
He's on his interview. He's like,
That's like a half a. Yeah, that's like a quarter
like an
pound
apple.
of pimento cheese. Just gross.
Oh my goodness. Another thing that you've kind of stirred up,
Nope.
Mr. Earnhardt. Everyone wants to know what's the Wednesday news.
Oh, yeah.
And
I
can you
can't-
keep
it's
a
not
secret
Wednesday.
that long?
Secret.
Yeah, it's
You
not
can't keep a
Wednesday.
secret.
but seriously, can I just say, you are like a toddler with sharp objects with you and Twitter. You are.
What did I do?
You just, it's like, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to monitor
so
him all
true.
weekend to see if he announces this
The
ahead of
same
time.
way. When you put up
He's
that
like, I
Instagram
can't
last week, I was
help.
like, I went into full panic mode. I'm like, what is this about? Like, oh my gosh.
He is like, he's like, I mean, he even like put a little bit out there. Like, I'm going to put a little
What did I
teaser.
do?
Hashtag the band's back together.
Yeah, what's
I'm
wrong with
giving
that? Everybody's ever going to figure this out.
Oh, man.
my goodness.
Nobody's ever going to figure it out. And the person that wants to announce it is going to be the one that announces it, and it's not me. And
Yet.
but I want people to know.
We're close though.
I want people to know that I'm excited about it.
The reason I say that, he has announced things prematurely
I have.
before.
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to know that I'm excited about it and want everyone else to anticipate it. So
There you go.
anticipate it. And when it comes out Wednesday, we can all just go, heck yeah, that's cool.
Dale Jr. will be the guy like, I knew it before y'all did. I knew it. I
I'm
knew it
not
before you
that
did.
guy.
I told you.
I'm not that guy. It's really cool news, and it's going to be
It
fun.
is. It is that.
It is that.
Yes, it is.
So Mike knows what it is. Does anybody else know what it is?
Anybody?
I
Show of
have a
hands.
guess.
Okay.
I have a guess, and
I-
I'm not going to guess,
I
obviously,
kind
because
of
we're live.
forced some
Yeah.
people to tell me about it after
All right.
your tweets.
It's cool. It's going to be fun.
All right, moving on. Scott on the YouTube chat, he wants to know, have you ever driven an asphalt modified?
I have not. I've never drove one of those. I've not really drove too many types of vehicles. Yeah, so no asphalt modified for me. I mean, I guess I could try it. Be interesting to try, but can't imagine. L.W. Miller, my brother-in-law, big-time asphalt modified racer, talks highly of them.
Yes,
He
does.
loves them. Yep.
Hey,
And Truex run one a lot.
me and Matthew are going through old NASCAR publications, those season previews that I have up in my
Oh,
office.
yeah,
and
we were
we
having
saw
fun.
a funny picture of LW back in 1994.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
It was good stuff.
We kind of talked about this earlier with Simon Pagino here, but Steve wants to know, any chance you'll run the 24 hours in Daytona again?
No, I don't. I mean, we did talk about it a lot in the show earlier, and it's just not. It's different. It's a different race today than it used to be. When I raced it back in 01 and 04, I was obviously probably about 2-3 tenths slower than our road course aces, and that are driving these cars all the time. I wasn't as good as my teammates, Ron Fellows and Andy Pilgrim. I could get close, but I couldn't never be as good or better than those guys in the dry. Now, in the wet, we would run all similar times, but back then it was okay if you were 2, 3, 4 tenths slower. It wasn't about really pushing it 100% during the whole race. You could run, a lot of the drivers would back it down and run 90, 80% just to make sure they didn't break the car because the cars were extremely fragile. Well, today's cars aren't fragile, and today's drivers are extremely fast and talented, And they, as I watched them run this race in February or January, when I was there for NBC, those guys run qualifying laps all day long, all 24 hours. They are running as good and as fast as they possibly can with those cars. I couldn't do that. I couldn't go out there and be competitive. Obviously, I mean, these are some of the best drivers in the world, and I'm not one of the best road course drivers in the world. I would be a weak link on a team today. I could cover it and mask it back in 01 and 04 because those guys would back down and run my pace or chill out and not run as hard as they could because they were trying to take care of the car. Well, I would run as hard as I could and match their speeds in the race, but I was also risking breaking the car, which I did a time or two. And in today's 24-hour race at Daytona or in Le Mans or anything else like that, they can just run those cars as hard as they can go, and the cars can take it. And the drivers know it, and they show out every single lap. It's really impressive, incredible to watch.
Our buddy Grotehouse chiming in on the YouTube live chat. Have you ever tried spotting for another driver?
I did. I spotted for Brad Means. Okay, so if you know Jimmy Means,
Really?
that used to race in the Cup Series, he had the Alka-Seltzer car. He owns an Xfinity car now that David Starr drives, that orange 52. Well, me and Brad were best friends growing up. Still great friends today, but we were really close, hanging out a lot. And he raced at Tri-County in a limited late model car, and I went up there to spot for him one time. And he started on the pole of the race, and after the first lap, the guy behind him just dive bombed. Yeah, it's made up a word. He dive bombed Brad into turn one, and I clear Brad into that corner, and the guy wrecked him and drove over the left front tire and ripped the hood off and just destroyed this guy's car, Brad's car. And I had to help Brad get some parts and pieces for it to be able to put it back together. But so I spotted once, and my car wrecked on the second lap of the race. So I never spotted again. I felt like I was responsible for that. So bad spotting.
Zach Barnett wants to know, is that a die-cast of Ralph Earnhardt's car behind you on the wall? If so, where did you find that?
Yeah, that was given to me by a fan that made that. There's a little black pickup truck with the car on the trailer and a picture of Ralph's car that they remodeled. That we've gotten this room is full of little tiny knickknacks that we've collected over the years. I don't remember who exactly gave that to me, but it's next to Ralph's got a trophy right here next to it. I got a lot of Ralph Earnhardt's trophies in my possession. So there's one, though, that is over at DEI that I would love to have, and that's the 1956 Sportsman Championship trophy.
Oh.
Yeah. I think Teresa has the 56 championship trophy and maybe Greenville Pickens track championship trophy. There's 3 trophies over there, Mamaw said.
Just ask her
Those
for
are
it.
beautiful, too.
Next question.
Yeah,
next question.
JD Harshfield, he wants to know, will we see the Cup cars on dirt in the next 5 or 10 years?
I wouldn't bet any money on it, but if they do it, they do it one day. The only thing they talk about is how they would accommodate those cars being able to pit and how would the race be ran. Obviously, you can't run it like you'd run a regular Cup race where all those guys are going to come down pit road and change tires. You're going to have some sort of halftime break or break every 100 laps to allow guys to get in there and pit safely and reset the field and go back racing again. Like they do that in the trucks where they have like a little stoppage to be able to. Yeah. So they'd have to do it like we've never done it before, and sort of jumping through all those hurdles is probably the biggest challenge. But I'd certainly love to see it. I'd love to see anything unique like that in our sport. So it may happen, but I wouldn't. I'm not. It's too much of a risk. The odds are too high for me to put any money down on it.
All right, guys. I think that's all we have time for today.
All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody tuning in on YouTube, our social media. Make sure you follow all our handles. Make sure you follow our YouTube channel, Dirty Man Media. You obviously are if you're watching this. Thanks to Nationwide for supporting us as a podcast. That's the Ask Junior segment. Podcast will be out later tonight. Make sure you watch it on NBCSN 5 o'clock on Tuesday. And thanks for tuning in.